Another Saturday, another black and gold report here on the UNCP Sports Network. Matt Sabatis with you. I thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday to get yourself caught up on Braves athletics. A full slate in UNCP sports this Saturday. We've got wrestling, golf, track and field, basketball, baseball, and softball all today. And of course, we've got a full slate here on the show as well. We'll talk with basketball head coach Ben Miller in just a few minutes. We'll even bring in a couple of basketball players to even the score a little bit after last year's horse competition. But first things first, of course, we've got to catch you up on the week that was in Braves athletics. Let's start off with basketball.
Braves got their week started on the road against Flagler, and they were off to a hot start thanks to this one. Nyla Allen pops the layup there, 3-ball right here, and she had a fantastic showing in St. Augustine. 20 points on 7 for 18 shooting, another double-double for the senior. Braves outlasted Flagler in the second half en route to the 71-54 upset. Braves tried to keep the good times rolling against Lander, the number 2 team in the PVC, with a 14-5 record, and they were off to a decent start. Nyla Allen and Avery Locklear doing some excellent work down low, and Allen again reaching double digits for 16 consecutive games with that 3-ball. A lot of great offensive work for the Braves, but you see Lander starting to slowly chip away, making it a 37-22 game there. A lot of great ball movement in general. Brandy Robinson making some contributions, but the Braves unable to hold on the final at the end of the day in favor of the Bearcats, 83-69. Braves go 1-1 on the week. They fall to 5-9 in PVC play, 7-11 overall. And they've still got a lot ahead of them though, but the men, they fared a little bit better. Following the Braves' first road loss in conference play this season, they had game number 2 with a 2-game road trip against Flagler, and that one right there, Tyrell Kirk, pair of 3-balls to open up the scoring for the Braves. He was responsible for the first 7 points the Braves brought to the table. Mike McKenzie with a beautiful steal in the paint. The Braves' offense was electric in this game in St. Augustine, en route to a pretty lopsided 91-63 victory for the Braves. Following that contest, Braves were back home against the Lander Bearcats, and they were just a little more than energized off of that one. This is just a taste of how things were going that afternoon. James Murray Boyles off of the steal for Micah Kinsey. Nigel Grant popping a 3-pointer from the left wing. The big man there picking up career double-double number 9 for Nigel, as the Braves did keep it toe-to-toe for a little bit, but then you see things like this. Micah Kinsey again with another steal. And a little toss off the glass to James Murray Boyles, the two-handed flush for the Braves to slowly start to pull away as Grant really strutted his stuff from beyond the arc as well. You see the number 3 there as the Braves, ranked number 22 in the nation, were able to feast off of that 3-ball a little bit in the first quarter, but things were really working well for UNC Pembroke headed into the second, led by over 15, as much as 27 at the end of the day. It was a close contest as it rattled home though, but the Braves, thanks to David Struther and crew, were really able to close things out and make it a clean 87-77 final. Braves on the year now 12-2 in PVC play, 16-4 overall, still top dogs in the conference.
A couple of extra days off for the Braves following that Tuesday match, but they hit the road once again to take on the Georgia College Bobcats, coming up in just a few hours, as a matter of fact. 1:30 the tip-off for the women's game, with, of course, the men following immediately after over in Midgeville, Georgia. You can catch it, as always, on the UNCP Sports Network. Head to our YouTube page to follow all the action live. Turning our attention now, Othello Johnson's wrestling squad. They've been putting together some great work after picking up their first ECAC victory against Limestone just a couple of weeks ago. And they are coming off of a couple of pretty big road matches.
Braves on the tail end of a road trip in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, trying to keep things going before they return home and ECAC play, but it just wasn't in the cards. A trio of decisions to start it out in the 125, 133, and 141-pound class for Kutztown essentially sank the Braves early on. Tyler McCosey for UNC Pembroke was able to pick up a crucial decision in the 149-pound class, and new Brave Rodney Shepard had a 12-5 decision as well, but it just wasn't enough for the Braves to topple Kutztown. 22-14 the final in that matchup. The Braves still have another contest later today.
That Brave squad is going to make their way home on Tuesday, February 6th, when they face off against the Coker Cobras, their first home duel in quite a while. Again, Tuesday, February 6th against Coker, and of course, with it being a home contest, we'll bring you all the action live on the UNCP Sports Network. And don't forget, folks, even though we've got basketball later today, that doesn't mean baseball hasn't started. 1 o'clock first pitch. It's the Braves versus Shepherd from Sammy Cox Field. Don't miss it. Baseball season already underway, and we're having a lot of fun with it right now. We're going to step aside real quick. When we come back, head coach of the basketball team, Ben Miller, joins us. Keep it here, up next on the UNCP Sports Network.
Connect with Brave Nation, the student rewards app for UNC Pembroke. Use the app to earn points by checking in at select events. Follow the action and watch the Braves live.
In the 109th minute, the Braves come up with the victory.
Don't forget to check in at events to earn points. More points equals more prizes and chances to be selected for in-game promotions. Set up notifications on your phone so you don't miss out on exclusive experiences. Share your check-ins with friends on social media and keep earning points. Download the app, attend events, and get rewarded.
Back in on the Black and Gold Report, segment 2. As always, thank you for taking time out of your Saturday to join us to catch up on some Braves athletics. We're joined now by basketball head coach Ben Miller. Coach, thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us. I just want to catch up and get your thoughts as we are set to enter the last month of the regular season. It's been just about as fantastic of a season as most people have expected coming in from the preseason as well. I want to get your thoughts, though, comparing it to last season. Of course, the goal was met, PBC champions in the regular season and in the tournament, making it to the NCAA tournament. Compare last season around this point to how you feel things have been going this season.
That's tough. Try not to compare years. We've done some good things, as last year we had at this time. Honestly, I don't know what our record was at this point for the season. I think our guys, the returners obviously probably gained a little confidence from what we were able to do last year, and maybe that has a little carryover going into the next year. But it's a new year, and the biggest thing for us is just focusing on each practice, each game as they come along, and not looking too far ahead or too far behind.
Well, how do you feel those returners have done taking the experiences that they gained in the run last year through the PBC championships and pass that knowledge on to a lot of the key freshmen that have been making huge contributions to your team this year?
Well, I think the veterans understand how challenging the league is night in and night out, so I think their knowledge and experience that they can share with the young players that way is critical. Getting them to buy into our team philosophies of with what we're doing, trying to do defensively, rebounding the ball and sharing the ball, and I think that always helps when you have that experience and they can kind of mentor the young players.
What do you think about your freshman core so far? Essentially, it's been whittled down to David Struther and Tyrell Kirk as the tandem freshmen, but you look at the young core too. With you can tack on Akia Pruitt and Micah Kinsey into that unit. What do you think has been the biggest growth from that unit as a whole?
Yeah, well, the experience that Akia got last year, he feels more like a veteran, this year. And he's had sometimes sophomore year is difficult because, he's not a surprise anymore.
Exactly.
He is a target. When shots go up, people are really working to block him out. So they know. So sometimes the sophomore year can be a little tougher. But he's handled it well. He's had some ups and downs, but he's playing well. Lately, his energy and effort's been great. Micah just brings a ton of energy to the floor and got some good experience last year. The freshmen, they're for their first time through the league. They're doing a great job. They continue to improve all the time, and the ball handling, our backcourt has been really consistent. Jamal, when he's in there, he doesn't play as many minutes as the other guys, but when he's in there, he's also been very productive.
Then how about the seniors? Obviously, Brandon Watts, Nigel Grant doing a fantastic job in their final season. Grant coming out with 20-point performances almost night in and night out, and then Watts having to, like we talked about last time we had you on the show, had to essentially run point for a couple of games while the freshman got acclimated to the offensive style that you ran, but he's now been able to grow back into form and essentially be the fire starter that this team really wants a lot of the times. How do you feel that they've been doing in their senior season?
Well, their leadership's been really good. You know, those two with Bryson, you know, they try to set the tone in practice every day. They're very vocal leaders as well, you know, during games and, you know, dead ball situations, timeouts, and just communicating on the defensive end where it's most important. So, you know, if they continue to lead with their focus and effort, that really sets the tone for the rest of the team.
That's something we don't always really get the chance to ask about, because on the court it's never really something that you pay too much attention to. But some of the guys that are currently redshirting, we haven't made mention of it on the show before, but the new transfer that you just got from NC State, Tyrell Kirk's brother Sean, and then of course Carson, who's taken the year off and he'll be back with the team next year. You mentioned Bryson Hall's abilities in practice and the leadership he brings to the table. What about guys like Carson and Sean, and what have they been showing in practice?
Yeah, our scout team's really good.
Yeah.
You know, Carson's really difficult to guard in there, and he's really had a great redshirt year where he's taken advantage of the time to get extra workouts in, extra lifting, really pushes himself in practice. And then Sean's experience coming from NC State, you know, having a couple years of high-level college basketball practices under his belt, you know, he's added a whole new dimension. Bryson's just a rock for the team, you know, just a great leader on and off the court. And then, you know, Cam Hamilton is also redshirting, and he's just a dynamic athlete and scorer. Giovanni, you know, Jay, the scout team's been tremendous and giving us a good look every day in practice.
Coming off of, when this is recorded, the Flagler contest, nearly a 30-point victory over the Saints after only your second loss of the season against Francis Marion. How do you feel about your team's ability to just bounce back from one little blip on the radar in terms of what I call the defensive outlier for your team to get right back to form immediately?
Yeah, you know, our guys have handled, you know, some bumps in the road fairly well. You know, every team's going to have them. It's just a matter of how you respond to them. Do you learn from it? Do you grow? And I think our guys, you know, took some lessons away from the game at Francis Marion that were probably necessary. And hopefully in the long run it's going to make us stronger.
Any specific lessons that you think stood out the most that led to the big victory at Flagler?
Well, you know, I thought honestly we got outworked a little bit. You know, there were some 50-50 balls, some hustle plays that they were a little sharper at getting to some of those balls and had a little more sense of urgency than we did. And I think when you allow that to happen in this league, I mean, it's a recipe to get beat. So hopefully our guys know that you got to bring it every night. And, you know, when you don't, if you let somebody outwork you, you may not deserve to get the win. And so I think hopefully that's a good takeaway.
Now, in the next segment, following this one, we brought in Brandon Watts and James Murray Boyles to play NBA 2K18 in our office, and we had it set up to film. It was a lot of fun. They had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. How good is it for you as a coach, would you say, to have a team that blends so well together and has such good chemistry both on and off the court?
Yeah, they're a great group of guys to be around, and you know, I think in the recruiting process you've got to evaluate talent, but also character and personalities, and find the right people that you're going to enjoy, you know, spending time with. They're going to mesh well together, and they have a lot of fun. They have also been able to focus when it's time to go to work, to get serious, but they also have a lot of fun off the court together.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for your insight. We look forward to talking to you down the line.
Thank you, Matt.
Well, we got that segment coming up next. Brandon Watts, James Murray Boyles in our offices playing a little NBA 2K18. You don't want to miss it. Be back in a bit right here on the UNCP Sports Network.
Connect with Brave Nation, the student rewards app for UNC Pembroke. Use the app to earn points by checking in at select events. Follow the action and watch the Braves live.
In the 109th minute, the Braves come up with the victory.
Don't forget to check in at events to earn points. More points equals more prizes and chances to be selected for in-game promotions. Set up notifications on your phone so you don't miss out on exclusive experiences. Share your check-ins with friends on social media and keep earning points. Download the app, attend events, and get rewarded.
Back on the Black and Gold Report for segment 3 of our show. Of course, we'd like to thank Ben Miller for taking the time to join us, but now we're going to turn to his team in general. If you remember from last semester, around November, we had James Murray Boyles and Brandon Watts play a fun little game of horse out on the concrete court out by Oak Hall. Of course, James Murray Boyles came out the victor in that contest. There was a little trash talk at the end of it, and we decided to bring the pair back into our offices and settle the score in the virtual world, NBA 2K18. Let's go ahead and see how that contest went.
Yeah. Let's get it. Yeah. Good pass, boy. Clear. Oh, that was not. Yeah, I missed. That was not clear pass right there. Hey, good foul. All right, let's go. That's 2 on them. Get him out the game now. Real. I did. Great. Woo! Oh. That was a beautiful move, bro. Don't jump with me. What'd you say? I couldn't hear you. I wasn't talking to you. Don't jump with me. Come on, y'all. Ah, trying to. What? Yes. Hey! You got double digits. Hey! Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Give me that ball back. Catch. Yes, he do. Catch and shoot on goal. Shut up. When are you going to get back on D? Bro, play both ways. Weak pump. Oh! That's okay. Take your time. Thank you. He has to foul you. He has to foul you. You're too slow. You had to leave yet? Oh, man. I can't score. I can't score. I just scored 5 straight. Put me down. 6. You get 6 now. What? There you go, G. How much you got?
You lost. You say you can't be. You can't be. You lost. Can't play you.
What? I thought you was gonna get. Hey, somebody get this 21 on camera. 21 what? Yo, somebody get this 21 on camera. Bro, JD, what are you doing? What happened? JD, yo!
Well, I think it's safe to say that Brandon Watts is a pretty clear victor in that one. So now they're square. James Murray Boyles one horse, Brandon Watts, victor of NBA 2K. One more break right now here on the UNCP Sports Network. Back in a bit with more of the Black and Gold Report. Keep it here. Back on the Black and Gold Report one final time from our old main studios. We're just going to say thanks to all the people that took the time out of their day to join us. Ben Miller for having the opportunity to sit down and catch us up on the season so far. And of course, James Murray Boyles and Brandon Watts for keeping it clean, I should say, when it came to them playing NBA 2K18. And of course, as always, thank you for taking the time to join us on this fine Saturday afternoon. Don't forget, we've got a lot of Braves athletics slated for later today. Braves baseball first pitch at 1 o'clock from Sammy Cox Field against Shepherd, and Braves basketball on the road at Georgia College. 1:30 the tip-off for the women, with the men to follow immediately after. Trevor Williams and myself on the call, and as always, it's live on the UNCP Sports Network. Don't miss it. Have a great rest of your Saturday, folks. We'll talk to you next time when we've got John Haskins, the women's head coach, in studio to talk a little bit of ball. And of course, we got to give a little more spotlight to his women's team. Trevor Williams is going to introduce a new segment called the Whisper Challenge. It's a lot of fun. I got to sit in on it. Don't miss any of that, folks. We've got a lot to look forward to through the rest of this season. But for now, we got to say goodbye. Have a great rest of your Saturday, great rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you same time next week. This has been Matt Sabatis with you on the UNCP Sports Network and the Black and Gold Report. Have a great rest of your day.